Namaste and welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Grab a couple of yoga blocks and a strap and let's begin in a comfortable seat in Sukhasana, which translates as easy pose. So find a way to sit where you can cross the shins, hopefully at the center of the shins in front of you. And if it helps to sit up a little taller and relax the hip flexors, you can elevate your pelvis on a pillow or a block. So I was going through some of my past yoga teacher trainings, and one teacher training that I took was focused on yoga as a lifestyle. So living the practice off the mat, so to say. And I remember this part that I highlighted that I would love to share with you today. And you might remember that in the second limb of the 8 limbs of yoga, there is one practice called Svadhyaya. And Svadhyaya is translated from Sanskrit as self-study in different ways, from reading holy scriptures to what resonates to you, to studying yourself and becoming more aware of your patterns. So here's a little bit about that in an area that's called authentic relationship with self. As we practice meditation and engage in the process of self-inquiry, we clear emotional and mental disturbances and cultivate clarity and intuition. We awaken perception. This leads to an authentic relationship with ourselves, where we understand what drives us, both consciously and unconsciously. We become aware of how every thought, word, and action creates ripples throughout all our relationships and the world around us. Through dedicated inner dialogue and reflection, we strengthen our ability to self-correct. So here are some key factors in that process. Coming from a heart connection. Let our actions come from the heart. Ability to bring the unconscious to conscious. So much of that happens in meditation, where we realize what's really driving our actions. Self-inquiry, the ability to look at behavior in the moment. Watching behavior, thoughts, words, deeds, reactions. Looking at our personal story. What aspects of your story might hold you back from your spirit expressing its true self? Asking yourself, what is the story that drives me to do what I am doing and the way I am doing it in my life? And then lastly, in what areas of your life are you living out of integrity? Where are you behaving in a way that is at cross purposes with your own heart and spirit? What is the story you carry that allows you to be living in or out of integrity in that way? So some food for thought as we begin the practice, as we look at the patterns that show up in our physical practice. And then we'll sit in meditation and observe the patterns of the mind. So sitting still now, grounded upright and with ease, maybe close the eyes and start to scan your own physical body in your mind's eye, paying attention to whatever sensations you're experiencing. And through this, observing your physical state. Begin to tune into the breath as you're naturally breathing. Noticing your energetic state. Bring your awareness to your mind, noticing its activity right now. And sense the way you feel mentally and emotionally. And start to prepare for setting your intention by calling to mind something you're grateful for. And so from that space, begin to clarify what you would like to focus your energy on cultivating through this practice today. And as a means of letting go of any particular outcome of how that will manifest, take a moment to dedicate your efforts to someone or something that you care about. Let in a deeper breath, slowly filling up your lungs, your belly. Exhaling through the lips. Let's prepare to chant together 3 Oms. Inhale deeply. Slowing the breath down, closing the lips. Let's start to cultivate balance in mind and body while steadying mental focus through Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breathing. So as you continue to breathe just through the nose, slow the breath down where you balance the length of your inhales and your exhales. Create a gentle whispering sound by softly narrowing the back of your throat. And as you tune into that rhythm, use it as a means to tune into your body and what's happening in the present moment. Let's come down onto our backs, starting in Apanasana, or wind relieving pose, where you bend your right knee into your chest. Taking hold of your right thigh or shin and just drawing it closer as you relax your head and shoulders on the ground. Now with your left leg straight on the floor, begin to flex your left foot. Curl the toes back towards the shin and press the instep of your left foot forward so that your left leg does not turn out. It stays facing the sky. And then slide your hands to the back of your right thigh and begin to press your right thigh into your hands as you pull the thigh towards you, keeping your right knee stacked right above your right hip. Inhale, straighten the right leg, flex that foot too, and exhale, contract your belly and start to lift the head and shoulders off the ground while keeping that right leg perpendicular to the floor. Now you can keep pressing right hand or both hands and right thigh against each other, or try it hands free, extending the arms forward. Maybe add the rigor of lifting the left heel a couple inches to hover off the floor as we take another 5 deep breaths in. Exhale, slow, even breaths through the nose. Think of your tailbone lengthening towards your inner left heel, maintaining a natural space between your chin and chest as you're lifting the head and shoulders. Reach forward through your fingertips. 1 more deep breath here. And then exhale, relax, lower everything to the ground. Point the toes, take a deep breath, and let it go. Bend your left knee into your chest in Apanasana, wind relieving pose. Sliding the right leg forward on the ground, begin to flex your right foot, in which you press the instep towards the front wall. Place your hands at the back of your left thigh and begin to kick into your hands with your thigh as you pull the thigh towards you, keeping your left knee stacked right above your left hip. Inhale, straighten your left leg and flex that foot too. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders by contracting your abdomen. Stay lifted here. Maybe lift the right heel to hover a couple inches off the floor. Tune into your breath. Maybe extend the arms forward as we take another 5 deep breaths. Keeping your legs where they are, energetically hug them towards the midline of your body as if you're scissoring the legs. 2 more breaths. Exhale, release, pointing your toes on the floor, stretch the arms overhead, maybe even interlace the fingers and flip the palms inside out as you draw the shoulder blades down your back ribs. As your arms are overhead, notice your front ribs. Do they begin to lift further up away from the floor? If so, seal in the bottom of your front ribs towards your back and lengthen the back of your spine. A couple more breaths. Maybe circling out your feet, maybe gently turning your head to loosen your neck. Then draw your bent knees together into your chest and begin to rock and roll forward and back several times, building momentum. Maybe lifting the legs overhead like plow, stepping the feet on the ground in front of you. Eventually, let's meet standing in mountain pose at the top of your mat with your hands together in prayer at your heart. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty warm after that. So join your hands in Padasana and take a moment to remember your intention. So with that as our focal point, we begin our moving meditation with our first series of sun salutations. As you inhale, raise your arms forward and coil your chest up, gazing up. Exhale, bow forward. Lower your fingertips outside your heels. Inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, slide to the ground, entering cobra pose, coiling your chest up. Exhale, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your back knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and drop the shoulders back. Exhale, join your hands in front of your heart. Side two. Inhale, sweep the arms up into a gentle back bend. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips. Inhale, step your right knee back and gaze up. Holding your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide to the floor and coil your chest up to cobra. Exhale, lift your hips back to downward dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your back knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, rise, arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to your heart in Padasana. Second series of Surya Namaskar. Inhale, the arms up again. Exhale, forward fold in Uttanasana. Press your hands on your legs, blocks, or the floor, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, step to plank and lower slowly. Forward, bending the elbows towards your ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Then inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's still the body there. Steady your gaze and tune into 3 deep breaths. After your third exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, press with your hands and lengthen your spine forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your arms overhead and find a gentle back bend. Exhale, back to Padasana. Let's take that sequence again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank and lower or lightly jump to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to cobra or upward dog.
Exhale to downward dog. Once again, let's pause in stillness for 3 deep breaths, cultivating focus here. After the 3rd exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Let's prepare for the last series of sun salutations. Starts in chair pose, so bring the inner edges of your feet together to touch. On your next inhale, bend your knees together, maybe graze the floor with your fingertips, sinking the hips that low before you raise the arms in Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, shift your weight forward and fold. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana, step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Keep going to your vinyasa. When you arrive at downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, step the foot beside your right thumb and spin your back heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. In downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, drop your right heel. Inhale, rise to warrior 1. Exhale, vinyasa. Let's pause again for 3 breaths. Remember that this is your practice and that your body is always letting you know what it needs. So as you listen to that, take rest if needed, add intensity with mindfulness. After this exhale, let's walk or jump to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair. Exhale, Padasana. Last time, same sequence. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float into your vinyasa. At downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale the foot beside your right thumb, spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Downward dog, second side. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, drop the right heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your vinyasa. And let's cultivate stillness, 3 breaths. After the 3rd, I'll meet you at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Knees together. Inhale, sit low in chair pose. Exhale, rise up. Let's separate the feet hips width apart and parallel to each other. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, roll your shoulders down as you look up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and lengthen your spine like a flat back. So if needed, bend the knees so that the back doesn't round. Then lift your toes and let's come into Padasana, stretching the outer wrists by slipping the palms face up under the soles of your feet. Bend your knees as much as needed so that your toes can meet the inner creases of your wrists. Keep your hands here as you tilt your weight forward, and inhale, press your heart through the gates of your arms. Keep lengthening your spine. Exhale, bow from your hips, dropping your head completely for a few breaths. Maybe loosening the neck by shaking and nodding the head. If you're able to, bend your elbows apart here and lift the shoulders higher away from the neck. 3 more breaths. Let's meet in downward dog. Choose to take a vinyasa or step directly back. In downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you, turning the right hip to face the ground. Pause and breathe. Draw your left hip towards the midline of your body. Energetically scissor the legs towards each other, keeping them where they are. Press through the instep of your right foot towards the rear wall and equally lengthen through both of your arms, relaxing your neck. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your right knee towards your nose like Apanasana. Remember when we practiced on the back? Step the foot forward beside your right thumb in a high lunge. Isometrically scissor your legs to root down as you inhale to rise. Crescent pose. As you bend your right knee just over the ankle, draw your right outer hip back and rotate your left outer hip forward, dropping the tailbone downward. Lift your frontal hip bones. One more deep inhale. Exhale, lower your left heel and align your right heel to the arch of your left foot, entering Warrior Two. As you open the arms wide, land your eyes just past the right hand. As you bend your right knee directly above the ankle, rotate your right outer hip under your body and firm the top of your left thigh bone back towards you. Lengthening your spine upright, relax the shoulders, and tune into your breath here in Virabhadrasana 2. Straightening your right leg, triangle pose. Glide your hips towards the back wall, reach your right hand towards the front wall, and place your right hand just to the right side of your right shin on a block or the floor. As you raise your left arm, gaze past the left thumb if it feels okay on your neck. Choose one spot to steady your eyes on. Deep breaths. Keep rotating your right outer hip under you. Press the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer foot and lengthen your torso and crown forward towards your front wall, sending both of your shoulders down your back. Trikonasana. One more deep breath. Exhale down to plank pose. Opt to take a vinyasa or meet us directly in downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you, and let's pause and breathe as we cultivate balance in the 2 hips. Draw your right outer hip back. Lengthen your neck as you lift the shoulders back away from it. Deeply inhale as you press the instep of your left foot towards the rear wall. Then exhale, round your back and bend your left knee towards your nose. Stepping the foot beside your left thumb into a high lunge. Isometrically scissor your legs to create stability as you inhale to rise. Crescent pose. Bend your front knee right on top of the heel. and draw your left outer hip slightly back. Rotate your right outer hip forward and lengthen your tailbone downward as you slightly lift your frontal hip bones. Couple more deep breaths. Spin your right heel to the ground and align your left heel to the arch of your right foot, entering Warrior Two. As you open your arms wide, land your gaze just past your left hand. Bend your left knee directly above your left heel and rotate your left outer hip under your body as you firm the top of your right thigh bone back. With a tall spine, relax your shoulders, and let's listen to a few more breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your left leg. Let's prepare for triangle. Glide your hips towards the rear wall, reaching your left hand far forward before placing it on the left side of your left shin on a block of the floor. As you raise your right arm straight up, bend your chest slightly to face the sky and steady your gaze on one spot. Feel the breath in, lengthen the breath out. Rolling your left sitting bone under you, tap your left hip crease back, and lengthen the crown of your head forward. Trikonasana. Inhale fully. Exhale your hands to the ground. Take it through a vinyasa. If you choose, let's meet in downward facing dog. At downward dog, keep your two hips balanced in height again, and inhale, raise your right leg behind you, flexing the foot. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and step the foot beside your right thumb, but drop the back heel this time, entering Warrior One. Inhale to rise. So just like crescent pose, square your two hips to face forward evenly, while bending your front knee over the ankle and straightening your back leg. Unlike crescent pose, press your outer left heel firmly into the floor. Degasana. Bring the arms down by your sides with your palms facing forward and keep engaging your abdomen as you tilt your torso forward just to a diagonal where you're hovering the belly above your front thigh. Scissor the right hip back and keep squaring both hips to face forward. If your lower back feels okay with it and you want to add more rigor, raise your arms overhead. Let's shift the weight forward onto your right foot, entering Warrior Three. Either join your hands in prayer at your heart, place your hands in blocks on the floor, or extend the arms back by your sides, open them apart or forward. Keep rotating your left outer hip downward. Flex the left foot and press from the instep. Lengthen your crown forward. Let's tune into a few more breaths in Virabhadrasana 3. Gently set your left foot down behind you to a shorter stance of Warrior One, where you bring the left foot forward, maybe a third shorter stance. This time, straighten your legs. You may want to grab a strap as you place the arms in Gomukhasana for pyramid pose. So make sure as you straighten both legs that you're able to evenly square the hips forward, grounding both heels, and liven the muscles in your legs and your belly. Raise your left arm holding the strap so it's hanging behind you. With the help of your right hand, rotate your left outer upper arm forward and bring the elbow behind your head. Then press both shoulders down and reach the right hand behind you underneath to catch the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. If you find that your fingers can meet, you can drop the strap and clasp your hands. Keep your throat open and inhale, tilt your chest towards the sky. Lead with your chest and exhale, lengthen it towards the front wall and begin to hinge forward from your hips, breath by breath. In Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Keeping a balance in the height of your two hips, let's give it one more deep breath. Set your hands on the ground and let's meet in downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and step the foot lightly beside your left thumb. Drop your right heel and facing forward, inhale, rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. Tuning into deep breaths as you steady your eyes. Bend your left knee just over the heel, draw the left hip back. Straighten your right leg fully. Press the outer right heel into the ground and spiral your inner right hip or outer right hip forward. Degasana. Bring your arms down by your sides with palms facing forward. Engage your abdomen and tilt your torso forward to hover the belly just above your left thigh. Keep scissoring the left hip back and squaring both hips to face forward. Maybe bring the arms overhead. Warrior 3. Shift your weight into your left foot, lift the right leg from the inseam, and create a horizontal line out of the center line of your body. Play with any variations of your arms you practiced on the first side. A few more breaths here in Virabhadrasana 3. Step the right foot back to a shorter version of Warrior 1, about 1/3 shorter stance. This time straightening both legs. Keep squaring your hips forward, grounding through both feet. You may want to grab a strap to hold in your right hand for cow face pose in the arms. As you raise the right hand, dangle the strap behind you. With your left hand, rotate your right outer upper arm forward and bring the elbow behind your head. Pressing both shoulders down, reach your left hand underneath behind you, catching the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe clasping the hands if they reach. Spread your toes, energize your legs and belly, and inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lengthen your heart towards the front of the room. So you're elongating your spine as you slowly hinge from your hips. With deep breaths. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Keep balancing the height of your two hips here. This time, inhale, press to your feet and rise all the way up to stand. Come to stand at the top of your mat and please take your strap in your hand. We're going to play with balance a bit more. Continue with our Warrior 3 pose in different scenarios. If you haven't noticed, that's kind of the theme for our physical practice. Hips in flexion, opposite of last week. So step the ball of your right foot into the loop or center of the strap. Hold the strap in your right hand. Begin a mountain pose with your feet together, touching. Place the left hand on your left hip and steady your gaze just ahead of you as you steady your breathing. Engage your abdomen and flex your right foot into the strap as you bend the right knee in front of you, like we did lying down when we entered Uttanasana. Bringing the right arm on the inner side of your right thigh, walk your hand as close to the right foot as possible. If you're able to reach hold of the big toe, you can clasp it with your peace fingers. Keep drawing your right hip down so your two hips stay balanced in height. Begin to kick your right foot forward as you pull the foot or strap towards you, drawing the right shoulder back into its socket and down. Balance your two shoulders in height and balance them directly above your two hips in height. Raise the left arm up and let's stay a few breaths in hand to big toe pose. Utthita Hasta Padangushtasana. We're going to add a twist here. To stay in the posture, you could opt to bend the right knee and hold the outer knee instead of your right foot with your left hand. Otherwise, hold the strap or catch the outer foot with your left hand. Use your right thumb and press your right outer hip downward as you stand taller. Breathe in. Keep your pelvis still, and as you exhale, begin to rotate your rib cage to face the right wall little by little. Perhaps you reach the right arm behind you towards the rear wall, and if your balance feels pretty stable, you might gaze past your right thumb. Twisting hand to big toe pose. Harita Utthita Hasta Padangushtasana. Tune into your breath. If you're looking behind you, stay in the pose and look in front of you. Inhale, keep the right leg lifted and raise both arms up. Notice this is like Warrior 3, vertically. And then exhale, set the right foot down and take a moment to pause. Observe, maybe close the eyes. Self-study, noticing what comes up in the midst of challenge. It comes up in your body, in your breath, in your mind, in your emotions. Then grab the strap and step the ball of your left foot into it. Let's start a mountain pose with both feet touching. Hold the strap in your left hand, place your right hand on your right hip. Standing tall, steady your gaze and breath. And as soon as you bend the left knee in front of you, flex the foot and pull the strap at the same time, bringing your left arm on the inside of your left leg. Walk the left hand as close to your left foot as possible. And if you don't need the strap, you can clasp the big toe instead. Draw the left hip down to balance with the right hip and keep standing tall. Shoulders relax down. Kick your left foot forward as you pull it towards you, drawing the left shoulder back into its socket and balancing both shoulders just like you're balancing both hips as you stack them. How's your breath? Raise the right arm straight up and let's stay in hand to big toe pose a few more breaths. Let's prepare to twist here. Either bend the left knee and catch the outer knee with your right hand, or switch hands holding the strap or your outer foot. Left thumb, hook the crease of the left outer hip down and stand taller as you breathe in. Keep flexing your left foot as you twist to the left. Maybe raising the left arm towards your back wall. Maybe gazing past the left thumb. Twisting, hand to big toe pose. Let's listen to a few more breaths. Stay in your twist, and if you're looking behind you, look in front of you. Keep your left leg lifted. Inhale, raise your arms. Standing version or vertical version of Warrior Three. And then set the left foot down. Once again, pause a moment and assess what's here now. Svadhyaya, self-study. Let's come on down to our hands and knees and I invite you to practice with me supine hero's pose. We're going to open up the hip flexors and the quadriceps a bit more after all those hips in flexion. We're going to take the hips in extension. So either sit on a block between your ankles or directly on your calves or on the ground between your ankles, making sure your knees stay on the floor no wider than hips width apart, and that your feet are neither turned out nor turned in. Then gradually begin to lean back to your capacity as you listen to your body. Feel the sensations. Sense the quality of your breath. You might place props behind your torso to lean into. You might not lean into something. Or you might come all the way to the ground and raise the arms overhead, holding opposite elbows. Let's do about 10 more breaths right where you are now. Seal your bottom front ribs inward towards your back body and lengthen your tailbone forward towards the space between your knees, supporting length in your lower back. Gently begin to lift your body slowly. Come on down to your stomach where we'll practice one active back bend in bow pose. Slide your knees close together. Rest your forehead on the ground. Then bend both knees and catch your feet with your hands, pressing your pubic bone into the floor. Kick your feet away as you pull them towards you, lifting your knees. Coil your chest up for 5 to 10 breaths, your count. Support your lower back by not splaying your knees wider apart than your hips distance. Cultivate ease in your neck and shoulders by relaxing the shoulders down and looking slightly down to lengthen the back of your neck. Dhanurasana. When you finish 5 to 10 breaths, drop everything and rest in stillness for about 3 breaths. Again, take notice of your mind, your breath and body. Let's slide into child's pose, transitioning upwards. After about 3 breaths, in Balasana, child's pose, roll your torso upright and set your feet in front of you as you sit at the center of your mat. Let's prepare for bridge pose. If you're wanting lower back support, you might hug the skinniest width of a block between your knees and thighs. Bring the arms down by your sides as you lie on your back with the knees bent. Slide your heels back until you could almost touch them with your fingertips, but not quite. Separate your feet as wide apart as your knees and parallel your feet. Grounding your shoulders, inhale, lift your hips, and walk the upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Keeping your arms straight, you might interlace your fingers. Again, take this back bend for 5 to 10 breaths before you lower to rest. Tilt your chin slightly away from your chest to open your throat, encouraging full inhalations. Lengthen the fronts of your thighs forward. opening up space at the front of your hips, counterbalancing all the hips and flexion that we were practicing in Warrior 3. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. When you're finished, just let your pelvis rest on the floor for 3 breaths. We have one last back bend, and that is supported bridge. Take your block or 2 of them and set 1 or 2 blocks wide across your lower back underneath your sacrum. We'll rest on the blocks here. Keep tilting your chin back, paralleling your feet, paralleling your thighs for 5 to 10 breaths. Sense the rhythm of your breathing now. Keep cultivating balance in your breath. Now choose to either stay on the blocks and lift your legs straight up, entering supported shoulder stand. Or if you normally practice traditional shoulder stand without the blocks and are free of neck and shoulder injuries, then take supported or regular shoulder stand on your own, 5 to 10 breaths, perhaps moving into plow. When you lower onto your back again, with no blocks underneath, let's prepare for a supine spinal twist. Wrap your right leg over your left leg like eagle pose. Drop your knees completely to your left side, lying on your side to stack your right hip above your left hip. Stretch your right arm behind you towards your right wall and look over that shoulder as you encourage it to fall. Breath by breath in this twist. To further release tension in your lower back, you might use your left hand to gently press away your right outer hip, tilting it gently towards the front edge of your mat. Sense about 4 more deep breaths here. Slowly roll onto your back and wrap your left leg over the right. Drop your knees to the right side. As you line your right side, stack your left hip above your right hip. Slide your left arm behind you towards your left wall and look past it. Encouraging your left shoulder to ground, breath by breath in the twist. You might add using your right hand to gently press away your left outer hip. One more deep breath here. As you roll onto your back, pause a moment in Supta Baddha Konasana, bending your knees apart on the ground or placing props under your outer thighs for support as you bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Rest your left hand on your heart center. Rest your right hand just below your belly button and relax your shoulders down. Maybe close your eyes and let's practice a calming pranayama here. A breathing into the nose and into the belly for 5 counts, and breathing out through the lips as you soften the belly for 7 counts. Empty this breath. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. Exhale 7. Count one more cycle on your own. Bring your hands to your outer thighs. Draw your knees towards each other and slide your legs straight forward on the ground, bringing the feet together and relaxing them. Slide your palms face down under your glutes, entering fish pose before we rest in Shavasana. Lifting your chin, tilt it back to whatever degree you can. Lifting your chest, you might bring the crown of your head to the floor. Allow 5 long exhales, maybe releasing through the mouth again if you like. When you're ready, lower your entire body into Shavasana, splaying your feet apart, wider than your hips distance, turning your palms up by your sides. Close your eyes and relax into rest and natural breathing. As you rest a little longer in stillness, notice how your body feels right now. And begin to move small parts of it, little by little, waking it up. As you keep your eyes closed, slowly roll over onto your right side and rest your head. Notice the quality of your natural breath. And observe how you feel energetically right now. And gently lift your body up into a comfortable seated position for meditation, preparing to sit for 5 minutes. Sit in a way that you can be upright in the spine, relaxed in the body, and grounded. You might choose a mudra like stacking the palms face up on your lap with thumb tips touching, which is a mudra that cultivates equanimity and inner balance. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. And let's begin. Notice where in your body you can most easily feel your natural breath. Land your attention there. If your attention wanders away from the breath, notice where your attention has gone. Then notice how you feel in your body. And as gently as you can, re-guide your attention back to where you feel the breath. Again, each time the attention goes astray, notice where it's gone. Notice how you feel, and gently bring your attention back to the breath.
In meditation, we practice studying our minds, observing the tendencies of your own mind. What did you notice today? And how can you bring that insight into how you work with your mind, both during practice and in daily life? Notice how you feel now mentally and emotionally. Bring back any thought of gratitude, anything you can appreciate now. Then remember what your intention was for this practice. Remember as well to whom or what you dedicated this practice. And in close, let's join our voices in 3 ohms. Inhale fully. Bowing in. Gratitude to yourself for showing up, honoring the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.